What's up, YouTube? We are back. Today is the big day. It is fiberglass time, or at least big day for me. I've been definitely looking forward to doing this. Disclaimer, I've never done any kind of fiberglass work before, so everything I'm doing, don't copy it. Just don't copy me. I don't know if what I'm doing right or wrong here. I tried to do as much research as I could, but again, don't copy me. So this is just what I'm doing, and yeah, I want to just show you guys how I've decided to do it, and I'm hoping for the best. So what I picked up was 3 kits of this Total Boat epoxy kit. It's epoxy and hardener. So this will not do the gel coat. I'm still deciding what I want to do for a gel coat or an epoxy paint type thing afterward. But for now, I'm going to start here. And again, I'm not trying to do a tutorial here, but I do want to show you guys what I'm doing. So it's pretty simple. It's 5-to-1 ratio. So really easy. They give you these little cups. 1 part hardener and the other 5 parts epoxy resin, and then you stir them a lot. I'm going to start by just using a full cup. I'll do the 1 to 5 in that, and see how that lasts me and how it really works. I've got 3 of these, like I said. I'm hoping that's enough to do at least 1 full layer of fiberglass on this. I'm gonna start by doing the seams, but you need to do your first coat of resin ahead of time and really let it soak in, they say. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna coat all the seams in resin and cut strips for all the seams, and then I will let that resin sit for a few hours applied to the plywood so it can really soak it in. I might do the whole back wall all at once, because they say you can let it sit for like a day if you wanted to and still apply fiberglass over it. So I haven't really decided if I want to just do the seams right away or if I'm gonna just dive right into that back wall. So I'm gonna save the floor for last, and there isn't much of the front that I'm gonna do other than the bottom seams through here, and I'm not doing this bottom seam because there will be glass. This seam here, and the sides, but I'm not really gonna push it or get close to where the glass will be. There's really no need, so it's actually not all that much. So I pre-cut all my seams and immediately realized I don't have enough fiberglass to do the tank. I thought I had plenty, and I don't have enough, but there was no way to make these strips and have enough still, so there will be a lot of waste, unfortunately. But I want the whole back wall to be 1 sheet, and I want the whole bottom to be 1 sheet, as well as having the seams done. So yep, I'm gonna have to order more, but at least I can get the entire sides done, and again, I'll have to wait to do the bottom until more fiberglass comes. But I started by pre-cutting the sheets. Alright, so I mixed up 1 batch, the first batch of resin, and I'm gonna start coating these seams. I'm gonna get these strips out of the way. Alright, I couldn't film it all, but I have coated pretty much all of the tank in fiberglass resin, except for the floor, although I've made such a mess. Most of the floor is done anyway. So I'm going to go in and try to lay strips now, starting from where I first started, basically, because it's been sitting a while. As far as this stuff goes to work with, it sucks. It runs a lot, it's thick, the brush gunks up. I'm sure there's better ways to apply it. I ended up just brushing the whole thing. I didn't even use my roller. So it sucks to apply. And the smell is, well, it wasn't that bad. I'm sure it's going to get worse because I'm about to use a lot more resin. But the smell isn't that bad. I wore a mask. I didn't smell anything. I've got the mask off at the moment, but all the doors and windows open. 2 fans running, and it's not too bad. So we'll see if it gets a lot worse. That's going to suck. But for now, time to start laying some strips in there. I've got these 3 rollers to help get the air out from underneath the fiberglass. I've got a fresh batch, and this is acetone, so I can keep these in it so they don't get gunked up. I saw that as a suggestion. I thought it was a good idea, so I'm gonna do that. Keep those in the acetone. Hopefully it doesn't dry up on me, and start applying. Well, it's the next day, and to my surprise, this has completely cured, it seems. This has a glass-like feel, and I can feel a little bit of the edges of the fiberglass, but other than that, it's really just like glass. I mean, crazy smooth. But that's not what I wanted for the next day. I was hoping this would still be tacky. So I don't know how laying more is going to go, because now it's going to be very hard to do these seams, I think. It is what it is. I'll have to keep going. The ones that I did do seem to have come out pretty good, though. I'm pleasantly surprised by these corners. They came out better than I expected. The only bad thing is I got this one popped up on me, and I couldn't do anything about it. It's super sharp. I can't, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to fix that, but everywhere else seems to be a success. Definitely a mess, though. And I don't know what I would do with that to clean that up. Maybe take a Dremel to it or something. But for the most part, seems to have been a success. I made a huge mess last night going in and outside. I tried to clean my shoes off, but it gets so sticky from all these drips. Yeah, I'll have to continue on and hope that it'll cure to itself. So I've got all the seams done, all of them fiberglassed, and the back wall has been completely coated in resin, and now it's dried. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay one big sheet over the back wall. It's gonna be tricky. This was the biggest sheet that I had to do, and that was a pain, mixing up enough resin to do it. So this will be a challenge. I've got some ideas of I'm gonna try to hang the sheet to make it a little easier on myself, but let's get it done. I wasn't sure how I was gonna be able to hang one big sheet myself. What I ended up doing was I just tacked it up with some nails to hold it in place, and now I will lay resin lightly under it and on top of it and try to soak it through. And before we get into the big tank build, I wanted to take you guys along with me while I move this baby Pearl to a new grow out tank, and I'll show you guys what I set up here. I got a little 20 long for her, and it's got a sponge filter in it, but it's moving a lot of water from the 1100 straight through and just overflowing. I had the overflow lying around. I've had it for a while, and I even had the pump lying around, so I threw this together real quick, and that opens up some tank space because I'm also quarantining. Well, he's not really quarantining anymore, but this Dorado cat, he's put on a little bit of size, believe it or not. He's still pretty small, but I didn't show him off. I've had him for a good month or so, maybe 2 months now, actually. And I've had them divided off together, so I can move that Pearl over, and won't have to worry about that tank, and then I can open this up for him so I don't have to move him too many times. Eventually I'll give him a big grow out tank, but for now he'll have this 55. I was moving her, so you guys didn't get to see the release, but here she is. So, decent sized tank for her. She's still pretty tiny. And now she's got a nice large volume of water still. I don't gotta worry about doing water changes on it or anything. So she looks good, she's super active. Healthy little girl. And I actually added this little Leo hybrid. He was around the same size as her and when I added him to this tank, and he did fine, but it just worried me because he was pretty small, and now he's grown. I feel much better about it, but she's just so small, and the aggression has been pretty decent between a lot of the rays because some of them are maturing, some of the males are maturing, so they're going at the females and whatnot. So I figured just keep that out. Plus this iridescent shark. This iridescent shark here, the bigger one, he's had quite the growth spurt, and he spooks a lot, and it's scary every time he hits the walls. So that would be another thing. If something's too small in there, might get hurt when he spooks. Something I gotta worry about. I'm gonna be moving him to the 1100s soon. But anyway, just figured I would update you guys on her. And so, back to the 1500 gallon. The back wall is done, and it came out a lot better than I had hoped. So again, we have a big, it's over a foot wide strip that I fiberglassed in on the middle seam first, and then I did one long sheet the whole back length of the tank. And it came out really good. I don't really see any air pockets in there. So that's what I was really worried about. It's very difficult doing that, to get all the air out on a vertical surface, or at least I had a hard time with it. So now all I have to do is the floor of the tank, and I'm waiting on more glass. But in the next video, you guys will be seeing the whole thing will be fiberglassed. So I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about my experiences with working with fiberglass, because I do think it's important that I at least explain to you some of the bad parts, some of the even dangerous parts. So Garami just freaked out trying to bite me. But I think it's really important to mention that you should take as many safety precautions as possible if you're going to do any kind of fiberglass work. I don't want to say I took it lightly, but I didn't go quite as all out with protective wear as I should have. If you can, I would recommend getting one of those full bodysuits, the disposable ones for painting, and a better mask. Now, the fumes were not that bad, not as bad as I was told they would be. I'm in a very well ventilated area with a lot of fans, so keep that in mind. But the fumes could be an issue if you're working indoors, so keep that in mind, stay safe with it. Also, again, protect all your skin and get a good pair of gloves. So I went through 3 pairs of rubber-lined cloth gloves. They're completely junk now. And I probably went through 10 pairs of latex gloves. They kept breaking on me, which continuously exposed my hands to resin. At one point, I don't know if you guys caught it in the video, but it broke while I was trying to get air bubbles out of the back wall. One of my gloves ripped open, and I was literally spreading fiberglass resin with my hand. So you do not want to be doing that, and I just wanted to put that out there, that try to take as many safety precautions as possible and wear good gloves, good protective wear for this stuff. It makes a huge mess. And all kinds of like bucket preparations. Start with small amounts of resin and get used to your work times. While this stuff starts to cure, it gets extremely hot. I also learned that the hard way. So you could literally burn your skin with this stuff. So just be really careful. But all in all, it wasn't quite as bad as people would make it out to be. But it's very difficult to work with. So the actual skill behind it is as bad as people made it out to be, in the sense that it's very difficult to do. So this was a big project to learn on for me, but I do feel so far it's been pretty successful. But anyway, that was it. I wanted to get that out there, but I thank you guys as always for watching all the videos. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Off the Deep End Aquatics, and I will see you guys in that next video. Thanks.